welcome to our Universal Lounge Room chats. Today I'm with the beautiful Katelyn Edgar. How are you, darling?
Really good, thank you.
I'm good. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Kelowna, BC, Canada.
Awesome. That's a beautiful place.
Really beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, you're so lucky. Now, I'll just let everyone know, we technically have never spoken before, but we love each other already. Just from the correlations that we have online and all that sort of thing. So we knew that once we connected, we would have an awesome chat. So this is what we're doing today. So the first thing that I've seen that is pretty much aligned with how we both think and feel and all that sort of thing is just around the fact that you and I have probably gone through stages in our lives where we didn't really have control and that it was just really hard and we kind of thought no one was looking out for us and we just had no support and then out of all that adversity we have then found that we were supported the whole time.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit more about how that worked for you and how that all started.
Okay, well, how far back do we go?
I told you we'd need more than an hour. No, just the shortened version.
It's like, I think where it really started was I felt like every area of my life about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, kind of like every area of my life was just like everywhere I turned, I felt like, ugh, like this doesn't feel good and this doesn't feel good and this doesn't feel good. And so I kind of, over the course of about 6 months, really let go of so much. So I let go from the place where I was living, which was really beautiful and on the lake, which I did have an attachment to. I let go of my partner at the time. I let go of my job. I let go of kind of a lot of relationships with friends and things like that. And I just kind of started spending more time alone and really going deep inside. Lots of yoga, lots of prayer, lots of meditation and affirmations, and just learning, like starting to read a whole bunch of new information and stuff. And all of a sudden things started to really shift. And as soon as I kind of let go of all that stuff, it was like I could just expand. And it's like I started taking up so much more space. I just grew. I grew and grew and grew. And the growing really has never stopped since then. It was kind of like I made a decision that I don't want to live my life this way. I need more. I want more. And I felt like I was made for more. I had such this deep longing to be more and do more and have more. I wanted freedom and flexibility and wealth and abundance and all of those things. And as soon as I just started taking those steps and letting go of things that were not in alignment with my highest desire, even though I didn't know what my highest desire was at the time, just that it was more, it's like all this space opened up and all this new stuff came in, and I was just open to all of this information. And that gap that you were talking about where I felt that disconnect, it just closed, and it was like a really quick kind of shift where all of a sudden anything that I was really looking for is like I realized it's all right here. It's all right in front of me. Every single thing that I could ever desire to know or understand or feel or experience, it all really starts within myself, but also within all of my surroundings and everything. Yeah, and it's just been really cool ever since. It's been more and more growth every day.
So a big question is, how did you know to go inside? Like, how did you know? Because I think a lot of us kind of think, oh, I'll try and hustle a bit more, or I'll try and do this or do that. How did you know that the secret was actually really inside? Like, what drew you? If you can try and think back, what kind of drew you to go, okay, I need to go inside to get this information?
Yeah, I think there might have been, and I'm sure there were probably other things as well, but the first thing that's coming to me is the teachers who I had in my life, like my yoga teacher And just some of the people who I really looked up to, mentors of mine at the time that really helped to awaken me, they just were shining examples of what meditation can be like, how easy it is to manifest when our minds are clear and focused. And so I think it really started with listening to the guidance of the people who were already embodying some of the energies that I was wanting to embody myself as well.
Awesome. That's a really good point. And I think a lot of people say, oh, I'm really stuck. And I see a lot of people kind of reaching out and saying, I know that I don't need to be doing all this hustling and working hard. And like, I know all that, but they're asking for guidance from others who are doing it. And in their mind, they're kind of saying, well, I don't see anyone else achieving without the hustle. I don't see anyone else achieving without any of that. And it's funny, I was only thinking this morning that there's a lot of people out there that use this, what I would call a universal system, or use these kind of things, but they actually aren't aware of it. And yes, they're highly successful, but they don't really know that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think there came a time when I got to a certain point of my understanding of intuition and just this spiritual guidance that we all have, where I realized, oh, actually anyone who's really successful is already doing this to some extent because they're following the flow. And it just kind of like clicked for me. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I love that. It's giving me goosebumps, actually. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it comes across that, yes, they're working hard, or yes, they're always out there, or what have you. But the only reason why it appears that way is because they're just doing what they love.
Yeah.
They're actually not working hard, and they're actually just getting out there because they feel this pull that they need to tell someone about this. Mm-hmm. So in actual fact, if we all just kind of, again, went within and just listened to what we're meant to do, and what I say is put our blinkers on, like don't look at what other people are doing, just let yourself be guided as to what you're meant to do next. What I find is that there's no procrastination, there's no having to or should or whatever. It's just, oh my God, bring it to me, I want to do it now. So, and this is what I think a lot of people are confusing with the hard work and everything else, is that when they see people always out there or doing lots of things, that they think that they're working hard, but actually playing hard.
Yeah, it's funny. This is, it's reminding me, I had a conversation with, I think it was a client not that long ago, where I was just saying, like, okay, yeah, so the hustling and the people who you see like really going and stuff in this industry, they're successful because that's what they love.
Yes.
Like, they love that. So that works for them, but that doesn't mean that's the formula for you. The formula is what you love. That's the path. It's not do this system or that system or X, Y, Z. It's what like fuels you and gives you that magnetic energy within you. Do that. That's the formula for success.
So let's find out where everything went wrong. Like, and I don't really believe in wrong or right, but why did we stop listening to ourselves?
Well, I think that some of it is because we're going through transformations where we're releasing subconscious blocks. And so it does feel like we're having a frequency shift. And so it can feel like we're very disconnected and like we're just almost at a certain phase of awakening in different phases and cycles. It's like we don't have any connection. And the truth is that it's because we're just letting go. We're just releasing belief systems and energy. And so it feels like we're not connected at all. But the truth is that we're doing like the deepest, most divine work just by simply being alive in that moment and allowing this energy to move through. So that's just something that I feel like is important for people to know, because I think because it feels like we don't have this divine guidance in the moment that we're bawling our eyes out because of whatever it is that we're going through in the moment. We're like, what's going on? And no one gets me. And like, where's my guidance right now? Yeah. But if we stripped away the judgment and can quiet ourselves for a moment and just really tune into the truth will see that this is a part of it. It's okay. It's energy moving through you, and just let it flush out. Like let it flush out. So, I really want people to understand that, so that they're not so judgmental of themselves when they're going through these kinds of frequency shifts, because we all have them, especially when we're awakening at this really rapid, phenomenal pace. That was kind of like a branch off of your question. Your question was, why do I think that people are not connected? And so that's kind of like a branch off of that. But to come back to your question, I think that people feel disconnected because they're judging themselves, and they get really wrapped up in beliefs that they're not doing what they're meant to be doing. They're not getting what they're meant to be getting. They're not enough. They're not being enough. They're not doing enough. They're not smart enough. They're not wise enough. They're not tuned in enough. It's just, you'll recognize not enough is definitely a theme. And so, for example, they could be getting, information right in front of them, like being shown, oh, look, that flower is so beautiful. Intuitively, they're being shown that flower, it's just exactly like you right now. You're growing and you're blooming and you're blossoming, and it's bursting through the soil and it's growing. But they might just be so like, oh, like I'm kind of got all this stuff going on, and I'm not doing, not over there, I'm over here, and I should be over there. And they're just not recognizing that they're getting intuitive guidance. They're just not picking it up because they're too busy with
I think also there's lots of comparisons going on. So it's like, so they're looking again outside of themselves to say, well, I need to be like that person, so I'm going to do what they do. But in actual fact, like, I really believe that when we're born, apart from past life stuff, but when we're born, we pretty much know what we're meant to do. We have like an inner, our higher self knows exactly what we're meant to achieve in this life. And so again, we choose our parents, and we choose parents to help us to move through the tough times. So when people look at their parents and they say, well, they didn't help me, they didn't support me, or whatever, it's usually that we've chosen them because we needed to get through that tough time. And it's funny, even last night I was thinking to myself, I was kind of feeling, we all go up and down with our feelings and emotions, and I was kind of feeling a little bit flat. And then I thought to myself, that saying that when you think that things are falling apart, they're actually falling, into place. And that's, I think, what everyone really needs to embrace when they're feeling a bit low, or they're feeling like they're crying, and it's like, awesome, cry some more, because it's getting you closer to the truth, or to your inner truth. And really, because we have this in us and we know what we're meant to do, it's what we pick up, the beliefs that we pick up from our parents, or from our school days, or peers, or partners, or whatever, and we soak them all in, and that ends up becoming someone else's belief, ends up becoming our own, when we know. So this is where everyone's confused, is that we know in our heart what we're meant to do. However, they look around thinking that someone else knows better than them.
Yeah. Or they look at someone else and see them living a reality that has aspects that they want, and they look and see, I'm not there yet, so I must be off track. Where the truth is that the fact that you're even recognizing this in someone else's reality means that you're right on track. You're starting to manifest that. So, just even a shift around there is huge.
So that's a really good thing that we can move on to is more looking at, okay, we've talked about internal and by just going inside and talking to ourselves, that it's usually the first thing that pops into our mind is our truth. It's when you find that you'll get your truth instantly, and so that's where when someone gets a really good idea for their business or whatever, and they get really excited, that's their truth. And then those thoughts of I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, or whatever, usually is the beliefs that other people have put on them. So it's about just listening to that first instinct, that first thing that pops up, which is our inner truth. But let's look at external truths and external things that we can use as tools to help us move through our journey. Mm-hmm. So like you said, when you look at someone who is succeeding or doing what you're meant to be doing or what have you, yes, it's showing you that that's what you want, and it's saying that it's coming to you, but it's also showing it's bringing up other emotions. So I think by looking at the emotions that it's bringing up in you or them or whatever, that's the thing that is your block about getting that thing. So it might be jealousy, it might be despair, it might be lack, whatever that emotion is. So when we do look at that, especially, I mean, I love Facebook as a trigger. I think it's awesome. Yeah. People go, I'm going to go off Facebook because it's too much. It's like, bring it on, because it's going to bring up all your worst enemies that are inside and around you. So then you can really look at what's there that's not serving you.
Yeah, totally. Time, like using the world around you and whatever it is that's coming up as a reflection for you to look deeper and see, like, okay, this is what it's really about. Yeah, that makes me think of like, I've had times where people who matter to me on some level, like close family members or whatever, have posted online about, you know, things that they don't agree with that I'm doing. And man, it's triggered a lot in me. And I could just be like, oh, like they don't get me, which, yeah, truthfully, like I did feel those emotions to start off. But if I go a little bit deeper and really, you know, delve into that, I can see, okay, they're showing me my own subconscious beliefs. So it's not a conscious thing that I'm thinking that they're showing me, but it's subconscious. And I'm like, thank you to this person who made me aware of whatever it was that was blocking me from that. And it's like, as soon as I had that awareness, it's like, I can feel it releasing right away. I don't even really have to work on it. It's like, wow, that was it. So people can, you know, bring this stuff up in us that just naturally starts to transform us if we have the awareness that that's what it's doing.
I love that. And I love that what you said is technically when people treat us a certain way or say something to us that we don't like, it's just mirroring something in us. And I'll just give you an example of something that happened recently where someone said to me, oh, you know, they're treating me like crap and, you know, they're not honouring their bookings with me and they're not turning up and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, so let's work out what that's about. And so we go through and we talked through, okay, so what does that bring up? What emotion does that bring up in you? And it's like, well, you know, it makes me feel really annoyed and angry and not respected and so forth. And then I turn it around and say, well, where in your life do you not respect yourself? Where in your life are you not honouring yourself? And they're like, oh, my God, there's so many ways that they're not doing that. Now, it doesn't mean their business or anything like that, but these people are showing them like the energy. It's more of attraction, right? So we will attract people to us who will show us what we have inside. But sometimes the message is not as clear as that, and sometimes we need to go deeper and deeper just by asking why would they treat me like that? How do I feel? What kind of a person does that make me if I have that in there? And it usually ends up coming down to that deep down inside, somewhere in there, that we're actually not a good person.
Yes, absolutely. And
once it comes out of their mouth, they're like, oh, I had no idea, but they can own it then. And as you said, once you own it and go, I am making a decision that that's really not me. And even looking at where that would have come from, who told you weren't a good person? Who said that if you don't cook your toast the right way that you're a bad person? You know, especially parents, they will say things because they're so busy and some of the things that come out of their mouth, number one, are usually the things that their parents said to them. So that's, again, how we're just turning the circles around. But what will happen is that things that people have said to us, which they don't even really mean, they stick to us and they just create, it's almost like this festering little thing inside, which we don't even know is there.
Yeah. And it's like it's just running subconsciously until the moment hits and we're like, exactly like what you said, I'm a bad person. It's like, whoa, that really has been on inside of me on some level this whole time. And it's like, whew, I'm so glad that like I can see that now. As soon as we really see it, it's like, oh, it's this whole new way of perceiving ourselves. And it just starts to release right away from that moment forward. Yeah.
And that's where it's really interesting, because once that energy changes within us, then the people around us change.
Totally.
That is so cool to watch.
It's amazing. It's absolutely just, it's one of my favorite things to experience, honestly. And it's not like we have to, we don't have to try and change anyone. We really just have to come inside and see like, okay, whatever this is that this person is triggering in me or showing me about myself or whatever it is, you need to just take that information and do whatever it is that works for you. EFT, journaling, praying, meditating, whatever your method is, use the information and work with it. And, that's literally the alchemy. That's the transformation of energy. And soon that is just going to shift, and they're going to align with reality is going to align with you and your energy. And it's totally magical and a complete miracle. It's amazing.
And it really it comes down, like people say, oh, I don't believe, or I do believe in this woo stuff. And I look at them and I say, it's actually physics. It's like, it's energy, everything is energy, and you will attract to you things that you have within you. It's just chemistry, physics, whatever you want to call it, which is what is going on. I mean, we are just energy. And so everything that happens to us or says to us or whatever we experience is always, like I say to people, every second of every day, you're getting a message. Mm-hmm. So the other messages are, coincidences. Like I love that when people say, oh, that was a coincidence, but it's like, no, there's no such thing as coincidences. That's from the universe. This is saying, hello, this is what you need to do next. Or it's saying, this is what's not helping you. Or it's saying, go and contact that person. Like how many times have you experienced that?
So many. It's all the time. It's constant. Sometimes it's just like, hey, pay attention. Life is perfect right now. Soak it up. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just, you're right on track. Everything's just fine. Just really coming into the moment and embracing what is, like really, really, like life is so precious, and all of these little amazing things, seeing an angel number or having a synchronicity of some sort. It's just the divine's way of saying like, this is freaking sweet. Like soak it up.
And it is something that we need to pay attention to. It's when we just acknowledge it and say, oh, that's just a coincidence.
Right.
We're kind of dissing it and going, oh, whatever. But if we look at it and go, okay, that's something for me, and then say, okay, again, like what I was saying before, is that like, what does that mean to me? How do I feel about it? What should I do about it? And it's all about the whole action thing. The other thing that I was thinking about this morning is around this whole journey is, there is that saying out there that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And, oh my God, so many I have to put my hand up and say, I used to be like this, but so many of us just get caught up in the impatience of, I just want it now. Like, just give it to me now. Why can't you give it to me now? And it's funny, like, I don't know if you've experienced this, but as you go along your journey, you kind of work out that, oh, I get it now. And then if I got it before, like if I got that information before, it just would have come in one ear and out the other. You can't, like you weren't ready for it yet. So what kind of things would you say is the thing or the go-to that you would use to kind of just let go of this impatience and just to go with the flow, trusting that you are on the journey and you'll get it when you're meant to get it?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I have to say, I'm not trying to brag, but I think this is something that I've gotten really good at. Like, I really feel like, yes, things still come my way, but I feel very much in the flow with life, and I flow with the ebb too. Like, I can really kind of take it as it comes. Not saying that I still don't go through my emotions and tough times and stuff, but I I have such an absolute knowing and trust that God, the divine, great spirit, is so guiding me along my path that every single thing that happens is perfectly planned out and meant for me in my path. One thing that I have to say for sure is that it gets easier with practice. It's a new belief system. So choosing to, one of my favorite affirmations that I started saying, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, that's definitely like totally ingrained in me now, is I am being divinely guided now and always. And I said it every single day, multiple times a day. And that's a part of who I am now. That is truth for me. It's completely ingrained. And so I would say, this isn't so much like a in the moment thing. It's more of like make your belief systems how you want them to be, because it's up to you. What kind of life do you want to live? How do you want to flow through your day? How much trust and faith do you want to have in yourself and your life? So choose a belief system that's going to fully support that, because your beliefs obviously create your vibration, which is going to attract into your life what it is that you want to experience. And then another thing that I like to do is, well, I just like to have fun. Like if I'm starting to worry about things, or, something didn't go quite how I planned, my go-to is just what's going to make me feel good. So lots of times that means go out into nature, be around trees, bring your crystals, cleanse them, dance, play. It's fun. It's that lightness. It's that that real fairy angel energy, just really bringing in that playfulness. That's probably my number one, in the moment go-to tool. Have fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, as you said before, is that there's a massive amount of trust that is required in this. And so often we can go off track and go, oh, that it doesn't feel like it's working, or it doesn't feel like, and then that's where you have to kind of just stand back and go, I'm leaving it to the universe to guide me completely, knowing that that is going to take me where I need to go. And whether it's good or bad, it's all part of it. And so I think that's the big key, is that trusting. And so once you just decide, okay, I'm just going to trust you guys. I say, give them a to-do list. Here you go. You guys look after that. I'm going to go and have some fun. And funnily enough, it just goes bang, bang, bang.
Yes. And that's one of my favorite expressions or things to say, one of my main messages is we're powerful co-creators with God, and that's how we do it. Ask your angels to go find your next client and bring them to your website. And then go play, go dance, or go have a nice dinner, or go shopping, or whatever it is that you intuitively feel to do in order to get into your sweet spot. But yeah, totally give the universal energies that are supporting you the hard things, and just do the things that feel most in alignment and easily flowing for you right now. That's your job.
Because what that then does, if you think about the difference in vibration, is that when you're kind of second guessing, not really sure, panicking, stressing, all that sort of thing, that drops your vibration. So the alignment's not there with the things that you want. But then if you then hand it over, trust it, and then go and have fun, oh my God, your vibration is lifting to such a high level that what I say is that there are unlimited opportunities that are coming your way. So we can't even say the answer. We can't tell the universe, oh, well, I want this answer. I want you to do this. It's no, can you look after this, and I'll trust that you'll do it. And what happens is that they exceed your expectations, because we're humans, right? So we have limitations in this meat suit that we have here, but our soul and our energy is unlimited, and so is everything else around us. So it's really cool. I kind of say it's really cool to test it out and say, okay, I'm going to get you to give me the answer and just blow me away with it. Go for it, blow me away with it, because I'm so ready. And then when it comes back, you're even more blown away. It's like a little surprise.
Totally. That reminds me, I have this little quote that I like to say, which is, the unknown is like the playground where miracles can take place. And the reason why things are so, like, when we manifest something with the divine, which is always with the divine, but when we manifest something awesome, it's almost never what exactly how we planned it in our mind. It's always better. It's always, like you said, exceeding our expectations. And that's because it reminds us that we are beyond our physical form, and it always expands us, and it always just, it just makes it so wow. It reminds us that we're not here alone. We're co-creating with something that's beyond ourselves. So yeah, so embracing the unknown, like try and find comfort in that not knowing space, because that's where the gold is. That's where so much magic can unfold.
So you've just brought up a really good thing, is that the not knowing. Oh my God, like as humans, we have to know everything. So what we believe, again, what we're told is you need to have control over it. So especially in business, you need to do your goals and your plans and your, checking your accounts and saying how much you want and everything else. The thing is that we're actually limiting ourselves by doing that.
Yeah. Again, those things to me are only useful if it's fun. If that's something that's like you enjoy. Like I love writing out to-do lists, and I love like setting goals and dreaming and scripting my life out. But on days where that doesn't feel like, ooh, this is going to be fun, I don't do that. I do what's going to be fun for me that day, whether it's like chanting a mantra and that's my business work for the day, or taking a nap or watching Netflix. It's not about like making sure that I do like those specific things. It's about making sure that I'm doing what's going to be, most enjoyable.
Yeah. That is awesome. I love that. And that's where it goes to show that there is no business system or program or anything when you're working with the universe, is that you just take each second. And when you're taking just each second as it comes, I think what I say is that we pull our energy from the past into now, we pull our energy from the future into now, and we're operating with 150% of our total capacity, which then enables us to do things quicker and in alignment, because again, most of the stuff that we're given is guided. So we can churn out those sales pages or whatever it is in half an hour, which to some people might take them 2 days when they are made to do it. Like it's not fun for them.
Yeah, totally. I'm so with you on that. Like I could, I too got caught up in the thinking that I should do things, this way that I've seen another person do things. And it just feels so draining and off if I'm not totally tuned in. And what I find is that even things like with around my house, cleaning, organizing, or whatever, if I don't feel like doing it and I just let myself not do what I don't feel like doing, then all of a sudden, and actually there is another little thing here. I set the intention that I will feel like doing that at some point, and it's going to be a total joy. And so when that intention's kind of set, it's in place, that's great. And then I just do whatever else. And then all of a sudden I'll be doing something, and then boom, I'll be like, oh, okay, now's the time to go sort through all of my files. And I put music on and I enjoy it. And it's just so easy. And it's the same thing with my business.
It's so funny. Like it's so funny you say that. I love kind of the whole business stuff. There is paperwork that has to be done, and there's it's funny because you can have that sitting there, and then when it's meant, like I don't know, a lot of people probably resonate with this, but when it's due, when it's meant to be done, you'll be told.
Yes.
And then you'll go, this invoice has popped. Oh, it's due today. I'll just pay it now.
Yeah.
Because this is when we go with the flow, we're living in right this second and we're guided. Now, this is the next thing that I wanted to go on to, is around the messages and being guided. So we've talked about how we can get the information from within, which, as I said, is kind of the first thing when we ask ourselves a question. It's just the first thing that pops into our mind. That's our truth. Anything after that is not our truth. So as soon as it pops into our mind, we just do it and act on it, because that's the guided information from ourselves. But let's have some fun now and talk about the other information that we've given, because you and I can talk to a lot of different places and people and all that sort of thing. So, and we haven't talked about this yet. So I don't know how you do things and you don't know how I do things. So let's kind of see, like, compare and see, not like comparing, but just see, like, and just to help, because there will be people who receive things in different ways, but again, they think that they have to receive it the way that this person receives it. But it's the same with running a business, or a universal business is what I say, is that you just do what works for you. So tell me a little bit more about how you get guidance from angels, God, guides, the universe.
Yeah, this is fun and fast because it's really endless and it's always expanding the different ways that I receive intuitive information. But I think number one is, like I said before, it's just setting the intention that I'm open. That's always like, whatever it just always, every day, I'm an open channel for whatever needs to come through, and I'm open to receiving the guidance and information that's meant for me, in order for me to be where I'm totally aligned with my soul's purpose and serving for the greatest good of all. So that's kind of something that I tune into every day. And I feel like that's important, just making sure that, that I'm setting that intention. I feel like from that point, I'm open. It's like, that's kind of like number one. And then it's truly like every single thing that comes up is speaking to me. So like literally, like, my crystals speak to me. They just have messages, and it could be that it's whatever I'm noticing about what I'm noticing is what holds importance to me. So if I'm noticing in this moment that my crystal is purple, and I ask, it's not like I'm thinking about the questions, but they just naturally come. And I'm like, okay, so what does that purple represent for me right now in this moment? And it's divine. Okay, so what about the divine? Well, it's that I'm one with the divine, and I'm right now channeling energy from the divine to reach the people who are watching this video. So that's just one example of kind of how it can, and it comes really quick. It's like, it's all in kind of one big burst. That's kind of one thing. And then when it comes to, like, if I'm channeling a spirit, maybe someone who's passed over, that's a little bit of a different experience for me, because usually the spirit is like, I can feel them coming into my body, and I'll even almost start like shaking a little bit. It'll be very kind of like, whoa, okay, someone has a message here. Who is this for? And like, just making sure that like, they'll be like, you need to tell them this. Like, it's kind of like a little bit more invasive than some other, than angels, I find. Yeah. And I think it really is about asking questions, and then the answers just come. Like, the questions are big for me. If I want to know something, all I really need to do is ask, and it's there.
So that is the biggest take home from today, is all you need to do is ask. So you and I know that if ever we want anything, we just need to ask. And that the thing is that we trust that, and that's why it works for us. So again, that element of trust, but that is always a go-to, is just the asking. But you know how you said, it just comes to me, blah, blah, blah. People still sometimes think, it must be a voice that you hear from outside or stuff, whatever. What they actually don't really understand is it's just a thought that pops into our head like any other thought. So as we do more and more of this work, we kind of notice the voices are different, which is great. But, you know, when people are just using the universe and the guidance for, you know, business or for their moving ahead or whatever, and they're not actually using this as their work, the thoughts that come up are always, like, it can just still sound like their voice, but in actual fact, it could be their guides. It could be even God popping a thought in there. It could be angels. And it doesn't really matter who it's from. It's just the listening and acknowledging, because a lot of I think when we've been brought up, is that when we've had a thought, it's like, no, push that down and move on, push that down and move on. So a lot of people call it intuitive or what have you, and that's, again, your feelings. But when it comes down to getting messages from these external areas, it just comes through as a thought. Now, again, we can receive thoughts in different ways. It could be something that we just think in our minds, but it could also be just a memory in our minds, or it could be a vision, or it could be a word. So it's what they call the third, the mind's eye. So that's how we get the information. And I think it'd be great for everyone to really embrace that it's that easy.
Yeah. And I have to say too that, I did not grow up feeling that I was very intuitive. I practiced. I really practiced allowing things to have meaning to me. And like you said, it is just a thought. What I've noticed, it is just a thought, and it's also a thought that holds a specific vibration. It's nurturing. It feels comforting. It feels like truth. And the more that we just practice this and not worry about if we're wrong, is it our angels? Is it not? Who cares? It doesn't matter. You might be wrong and you might not, and it just really doesn't matter either way. But the more that we allow ourselves to practice, the more familiar we can become with this vibration of truth. And when we're familiar with that vibration, it's easier to know the difference between thoughts coming from belief systems or thoughts that are coming from divine guidance.
Yeah, I always say, if someone asks me, I don't really know the difference, I just say, the thoughts that come through that are guiding and nurturing and supporting, they are the thoughts you listen to. The other ones that aren't are, as you said, belief systems, which is what I say is just attachments. They're attachment energies that we have on us from the people who told them to us. And we can easily remove those blocks, those beliefs, whatever, by just removing that energy. And that's just not there anymore. But this is where it's really important for everyone just to really start listening to these thoughts that are popping up into their head and being more aware of this. And the more they do that, the quicker their journey will go. Yeah. And this actually brings up something that you reminded me of it earlier, which was the messages and the guidance that we receive will only have as much power in our lives as we allow it to. So if you get a divine message, it's when we were talking about synchronicities and stuff. If we allow that stuff to be wow, and that's really special and sacred, and I cherish that information, that much energy is going to charge you, and you're going to be catapulted forward into the life that you desire because you're allowing it to. So letting these messages be that amazing and be that great is your choice. And the more that you choose that, the faster, like you said, you're going to move along the journey and step into your desires and your dreams. Yeah. And I love that too, is that, a lot of people will kind of say, can you tell me what the future holds and all that sort of thing? And it's well, sure, we can tell you, but you have a choice in all of this. And it depends on what choices you make as to what your future will become.
Yeah. Whenever I'm doing a reading for someone, it's not something that I do very often because it's probably similar to you, because it's not, it's fun, but it's what's more fun is learning how to generate specific energies in your body so that you can create whatever you want. So that's kind of more my thing. But whenever I do a reading for someone, I always remind them that, and I kind of wish that any psychic would say this to the people that they're doing readings for. They're reading your future probable reality based on your current energetic state. And so that can change if you change your energy. And then here's how you can do it. So that's...
I love you. I just love you. I just love you. You're awesome. Considering we've never talked before, everything, so this is how the universe works, right? We're just let's have a chat. Let's record it. And it's funny that everything that we've said is completely aligned together. And we had no idea how this would work. So it's just amazing how the universe works. And this is where, by embracing this, we can really just I mean, yes, we're actually doing this because it's so much fun, right? It's so
Totally.
I don't really know what we're going to do with this, but it's so much fun to just connect and talk. And this is how it works. You only do things that are fun for you.
Yes. Yeah. That is truly the way that I live.
And can you then see that when you do that, look what happens. You create magic.
Yeah.
This information...
That's honoring your soul. That's honoring your desires.
But this information that we're talking about now is going to help so many people. But we didn't know that this is what we were going to be really talking about. This is just where we'll be talking. So what'll happen, like I don't have a script or anything here. As I said, we're just going to talk about whatever. I'll get given some information as to, why don't you ask her about this? Why don't you ask her about that? And this is how we're guided.
Totally. And the people who watch this are going to receive so much value. It's going to, I know that every one of you who's watching this is going to be like, I really needed to hear that. That really clicked for me. It's just because we're collectively creating this through the intentions that are totally aligned with our soul.
And that's where, again, by allowing the universe to guide us, they'll be guided to watch it. They'll be guided because there'll be a message in there for them. But what I'm also being told as well is that when they're, again, the thought that comes into my head is that when they're listening to this, please, I should have said this at the beginning, get a notepad and pen because they're going to be getting more information. They're not just going to be writing what we're talking about. They're actually going to get more thoughts and more things to come in. So that'll be something that I've learned from doing this is that at the beginning of every chat that I have, every lounge room chats that I have with all these awesome people is to get a pen and paper because you just don't know what you're going to get out of it.
Totally. And even like we're having this conversation like physically, but there's a whole new energy channeling.
Oh my God, my tummy just did flip.
Yeah, like it's a whole new, we're getting downloaded. And so is everyone who's partaking in this.
That is powerful. That is so powerful. Yeah. And it comes down to the trust, doesn't it?
Yeah, huge, big time. You know what? It's so funny. When I just went for a swim like 2 hours ago, and I was just getting out of the water, and I was thinking about just how I want to deepen my belief. And God said to me, it's not about belief. I'm the creator of the universe. It's what it is. It's not even belief. It's about, this is what it is. You're a living, walking miracle. Like it's what is, it's the truth. We keep coming back to that word because it's so powerful.
Amazing. And, funnily enough, I think when you were getting that message, I got a similar message and I've actually emailed it to myself about this co-creating with God and that, I used to get so frustrated about seeing the forest being cut down and, the flushing good drinking water down the toilet and all these sorts of things. And I got really annoyed about it. And I'm like, what can I do about it? And there was just this whole feeling around, like, how can one person make a difference? But then something different has happened. Again, I've been listening to what's been coming through and I've been given this amazing process that I'm sharing with everyone, which is it's a new business, universal business, design. And so this is where it goes along exactly what we're talking about and getting people to, almost creating their own and listening to themselves and, just really using energy and vibration and alignment in their business. And I'm so blessed, thank you, that I've downloaded all of that. But I've got so much stuff here, I've got to put it together. The thing is that the end, like, I still believe it's not finished, but as we've gotten to the end of it, I'm like, what is this purpose? Like, how is this going to be helping by each person, living their truth? And it's like, the thing is that person then will share that with their clients and that person will then allow their clients to embrace it. And I said, oh my God, you're doing network marketing to heal the clients? But in actual fact, that's what's going to heal the planet, is that you and I are going to share this message with everyone. And I'm getting goosebumps because you know what I'm being told, we're just going to help people to embrace their own truth. And their own truth is of peace and love and joy and happiness. And it's just been clouded by other people's truths. And so that's where you and I will share that with our clients, and then they will share it with their clients. And this is how the world is going to change.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, because I used to feel the same way, heavied by some of the happening things in the world. And whenever I would tune in and say, like, okay, like this, I feel panicked about this. What is my place here? And it was always just shine light, ground light, like spread this love, spread awareness, help people to awaken to their power as co-creators. That's really what it is. It's about bringing light to envelope this planet with light, like through the ripple of one another. That's what's going to change it. And I'm not saying that there's not people who are meant to, more be in the activism. I just trust what everyone's doing is aligned and a part of the divine plan. I don't look down or think that's not valuable. I just know that for myself, the highest work that I can be doing is exactly what we're doing right now. And it feels good. And that's how I know that it's right on path for me.
And it's easy. It's not, and this is the thing that everyone needs to really understand, is life is simple, life is easy, and just go with the flow. And that's where we can heal the planet. We can, help the bees. We can help,
Yes.
and we can stop the ice from melting by changing vibration.
Yes. Yeah. We're meant to open up to bring new energy onto the planet and ground it. So get into nature, you guys, because it really helps. The trees will bring the energy down.
When you get into nature, that's when we get the biggest inspirations. That's when we feel alive, and that's where we are given more guidance. And so that's where we do need to get out. And the thing is that the more we appreciate the planet, the more that we appreciate each tree and each animal and everything else, that energy is lifting their vibration.
Yes. Yeah.
Although I'm being told that their vibration's higher than ours, so maybe we're getting some of theirs.
Well, I definitely get a lot from them. I feel it's a co-creation with all of us. We're all one with the earth, and then beyond that, we're all one with the solar system. We're all one with this universe and this beyond the universe. We're all one with God. We're all a piece of God. So we're doing it all together.
Let's get back to the business side of things, because, people will then be thinking, but what about money? What about how can I survive? How can I, because this all sounds beautiful. But at the end of the day, there is reality. Mm-hmm. I know that our reality is different to a lot of others' reality, because we do completely trust and be guided. But there is a lot of people out there who are still stuck in the old beliefs that they've learned from their parents and even from in schools, everything else about how life is. And so, life is hard, that we have to work hard to make money to feed our families. And even that whole kind of sacrificing yourself means you're a good person. There's a lot of beliefs on the planet that aren't really aligned with our true purpose. And it's kind of throwing these gorgeous people off kilter. And that's kind of why they're really struggling at the moment. Number one, because of all the retrogrades going on, which are forcing them to clear it. But if they can get something out of this that can help them kind of rise above all the beliefs that they've been told to believe, what would be something that you could advise them on?
The number one thing that I have to say is understand that you are already stepping into a new reality, period. This is the highest intention. Your belief and understanding and intention that whatever experience, be it really fun, or maybe you're going through a lot of crap and it's really heavy for you right now, whatever is happening is helping you to get into the reality that you want to be in, period. No questions asked. That is the end of story. From there, there's so many tools that we can use to help to really, I love EFT. I know you do too. That's like last year, I tapped my meridian points like record, I'm sure, so much. But so that, there's tools that you can use to help to clear this energy out faster, but we are all a part of the collective consciousness awakening. So if you are mingling with people who you feel are, quite awoken already, it's because they're showing you that you're awakening already too. And you're just clearing stuff out. And so be gentle and patient with yourself, because this is, there's a lot of darkness that's being let go of. And as we let it go, sometimes we're feeling it. So just know that you're already becoming the angel that you want to be. Like, really know that, believe that above everything else, because the shift is going to take place. There's no question about that.
Especially if they're feeling it, like if they're feeling that, that whole kind of, absolutely overwhelmed and not happy and all that sort of thing. It is just, the only thing I'd say is God's way, or what the universe's way of saying you're ready to shift this. But sometimes they just get caught in the whole heaviness of the emotion, that it's actually hard to get out. And that's why I do love tapping or EFT, because that helps you move past the emotion. And the process that I use is what I call investigative EFT. So it actually gets you into the subconscious so you can find out the why it's there, which is awesome. Right. But funny, as we were just talking, I was just told that if we are stuck in the money, or if we're stuck in the weight, or if we're stuck in the success or whatever, is that those things that we're stuck in is actually not the problem. So when we focus on, I'll use money as an example, is that when we focus on the lack of money, well, that of course just creates more lack of money and you get stuck. But if we can just a simple thing is to turning it around to saying, okay, well, money is energy, weight is energy, lack of success is energy, no love is energy. And if we just kind of look at it as energy, I think we can kind of let go of the emotion around it and go, okay, well, it's just a thing, right? It's just energy. So money is just saying to me that there's no flow somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally. So the easy way to get through this stuck of money, or having to create money or bring money in, is go, okay, so I'm going to change something in my life that I feel stuck in. And it's not the money, it's about, well, that I'm not honouring and not flowing with. So it might be self-care, it might be not enough time with family, it might be other things. And these are really easy things that we can change.
Yes.
Just by making a decision to change it. And so once we change the energy around the things that, and we'll be told in our heads, or the people will tell us, like our children will go, you don't spend enough time with me, or someone will, and this is the messages, this is other people in the universe saying to us, this is where the energy is not aligned. And then the money is just a way of getting you to pay attention, because we all pay attention to money, right? But we won't pay attention to the child that goes, oh, you're not spending much time with us. And it's like, well, I have to earn the money so then I can, bring things in for you. But it's the other way around. It's like, spend time with them and honour and have that balance in all areas of your life, and the money will come.
Yes, absolutely.
Totally. Again, as soon as I say that, the word trust comes up. So trust is a massive element of moving forward for everyone.
Yeah, big time. And another thing that comes to me when you're saying all that is, so also energy, whatever relationship, body, it's all a projection of the wiring that we have in our brain, our subconscious beliefs and programming and stuff like that. Honor it. Like, how many freaking lifetimes have you been through in order to get into this reality right now already? So try to be less judgmental of our programs, and really like honor them and say, as soon as you have the awareness of something is off, like embrace the awareness itself. And then you can start to piece together like what needs some shifting and make this statement. Okay, this is programming, or this is a paradigm from my family or past or whatever. Honor it, embrace it, and then say, and now I'm changing it. Now that I have this awareness, I'm ready to shift this. And like you said, start taking actions, not necessarily directly in the area where your attention was being grabbed, but take actions in your life with the intention that it will heal whatever area of your life you want to heal. So like I could clean my bathroom with the intention that I'm going to be bringing in more clients, and that's what it'll do. It doesn't, it's like you said, you don't have to attack your business in order to have business success. It can be whatever. You'll be told.
Awesome. And can you see that then empowers people, that they do have control of how many clients come in? They do have control as to how much money comes in. They've got control over all of that just by setting the intention and then acting on it.
Yeah, totally. I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly when you think and how you think, because it's not. So be okay with that. And that's part of our job as, these co-creators, be open to the when and the how. Like, truly, I'm pretty good with whatever I want is going to manifest. Yeah, I go through times when I'm like, I wish it was here now, but I'm okay with whenever something's going to come along. So I'm pretty detached, and I think that's pretty key. So yes, absolutely. We have control. We can, if you have a desire for something, you desire it because it's meant for you and because it's coming for you. That's why you want it.
Yeah. And that's where, sometimes the first thing that comes up is that sometimes we say, oh, but I deserve this. And so, but again, when we look into the thing that's going on and we talk through the layers, what it comes down to is that you're not a very good person. So that's where, of course, you're not going to deserve money. Of course, you're not going to deserve success. Of course, you're not going to deserve love if you have a deep-seated belief that you're not a good person, which, of course, is not true. It's just something you've picked up from someone else. So the next thing I've been asked to I'll ask you, is if you could give someone, like, think back to when you started your business and, it's a bit tricky initially for everyone really to kind of find their feet. What is the number one advice that you would give to people as to an action or a thing that you've done that really made your business, like you noticed that your business take off?
Find a mentor that you love and that you just being with them dazzles you. Like, just that their energy is just like, it's a treat just to be within their aura, on their Facebook page or whatever, because they're going to help you to bring that energy within yourself, whatever it is that, there's so much magic in obviously co-creating, just like what this is, right? So that's for sure my number one advice is find someone who you feel so like drawn towards, you're so attracted to them, and work with them, like learn from them, whatever it is that you're meant to learn, you'll get it from them.
If they don't have money, that doesn't mean that they can't still work with them, because you can be interactive on their Facebook page. You can send them comments and things like that. And that's how, it's what I call the universal funnel. You got sales funnel, that sort of thing. I call it the universal funnel. Is that you can get a lot of things for free when you're starting off that can help you, like listening to podcasts from your mentors or, things like that. And the other thing that I was just reminded of too is that when you do align yourself with someone who's really awesome at co-creating and running the business the way that you really want to run and you want to align yourself with, is that person's vibration, you would have been attracted to them anyway, because the universe has aligned you with them because they are the right person for you. But even just by being around their energy, and again, if it's on Facebook or if it's just listening to a podcast or whatever, it does actually lift your own vibration.
Totally. Absolutely. Like I have my current coach, I started following her probably like 6 months before I actually started working with her. And I super engaged with her. Like I liked I went onto her business page, and it's just because she's put that energy out, just like we put this energy out into the world for that purpose. And so use it, like absolutely engage with it. I mean, most coaches have their own Facebook group. I'm pretty sure we both do, where you can interact and engage with us already, and just being in their energy at any level is going to be helpful for them, or me too, like with my coach. Like I totally agree with that. And don't feel disappointed if the money for, working with your coach is not aligning with you just yet. It also means that there's just a few things that need to fall into place until you're quite fully aligned. So don't be disappointed if you're not quite there yet, because it's coming.
And that's where, yes, it's great to be able to have the money to employ coaches or a mentor or someone to help you, but not having that block around that you can't work with them just because you don't have the money, because they can really, when you might listen to a podcast or a webinar or something that they've got, and that'll have that message for you, which is going to get you through that next step or that next bump.
Totally.
And just trusting, like as soon as you put it out to the universe, okay, you guys just bring something to me that I'm meant to listen to get past this next thing, so I can start earning some money to really be able to work with someone who's going to take me higher. And that's where all of a sudden you'll get an email in your inbox saying blah, 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 blah. And you'll go, oh my God, that's really interesting. I'll have a listen to that. And you'll get that aha moment from that.
Totally. Yeah. And it always comes in just the right timing. Even if you go through a period of time where you feel like it should be here by now, it will always show up exactly when it's going to be most beneficial to you.
I love what you said that too, like the should. There's no shoulds, need to, have to. There's no impatience. There's no right or wrong. There's no any of that. It's like letting even go of that is so freeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do whatever the hell you want.
You can't go wrong. Like with life, you can move through moments of like intense emotion, especially if you're very empathetic. Yes, you will feel a lot of energy, but you can't screw your life up. Like, I really believe that. I'm going to tell you something. I don't even believe in self-sabotage. I believe in being guided to do something or being guided not to do something. And if I just follow what I want to do, it can seem like self-sabotage, but I know that it's not for me, because I'm just doing what I'm being guided to do every single moment. I used to feel that I did a lot of self-sabotage, and there are things that I could label as self-sabotage, but if I'm going to be really, really real and honest, I never really feel that I'm self-sabotaging, and I never see anyone else as self-sabotaging either. I see them making steps forward in whatever way that they're meant to in that moment to have their transformation.
It's like when we act on these, what I call inspired thoughts. So we'll get the inspired thoughts, and then we have this inspired action. And a lot of people have that fear around the action, because what if it's not good enough? What if I can't do it? And I always say, just don't even think about the hows or anything like that. Just act on it. And then there could be that, well, what if I fail? What if it doesn't go how I expect it? And it's like, that will be part of the lesson.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
That's all right.
Because there's no such thing as failing. There's no such thing as failing.
No, there's not. I'm with you on that. Yes, there's challenges and stuff, but like, you're a divine being.
Yeah. So good. I love that. So I think we've covered most things that we wanted to talk about. Is there any other things that have come up for you that you want to have a chat about?
No.
Yeah, I think we're good. Isn't it funny? This whole, I love it. And I just can't wait for everyone to really be able to experience, like even what we're experiencing now, is that, being guided and getting information as to what we're meant to talk about and things like that. And then all of a sudden, when it's finished, it is just a calm. It's just a peace. It's like, okay, we're done now.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like that when I do readings too. Like, it's like information will come through and then it stops. And it's like, all right, well then that's it for now.
Yeah, just for now. And then there'll be something else that you'll see along. But it's just beautiful. I love it. And I've so loved connecting with you. It's just been so beautiful. We might have to have a few more of these chats, I think.
We would have a blast. I would love that. I would totally love that.
Oh, okay. So we'll say goodbye to our viewers. And I think both of us are sending so much beautiful love from our hearts. And I hope you can all feel it, because I'm sending it out right now. And, you know, we are so honest and open and accessible, because we're just co-creators with God. We're probably more accessible to God than He is. But again, all we do is ask, and, you know, they need to know that they have access to all of this.
Yes. And if it feels like something that you want, it's because that's what you're stepping into.
And you're ready.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, darling. So we will say best of wishes to everyone, and just, you know, if you've got any comments, you can put it onto either one of our pages, or I do have the Universal Entrepreneur Facebook group, and of course we've all got our own individual businesses as well, so you can always come and visit us and say hi and let us know what you thought about our chat today, and we're sending you guys lots and lots of love. So, mwah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.